following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Oh, look who we have.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Got our man, Jim from Minneapolis. We gonna take him by storm?
Taking it by storm, baby.
I love that. That's a great saying, man. Hey, what's happening, brother?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. Yourself?
Oh, man. It's been the most incredible couple of days since when I called in on Friday, Litecoin busted out of that consolidation on the 2-hour chart.
Okay.
And it just never looked back. It did a 100-point ABC up, and now it's very extended the way I look at it. But holy, I mean, it went up to $420 last night.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. It's not Tom O'Brien, it's Tommy O'Brien. It's Friday. We got a good market. We got the Dow up 374 points. S&P's positive by 37. NASDAQ positive by 131 points. And I'm fortunate today to be joined by our man, David White. Dave, good afternoon.
Hey,
how we doing, man? Nice program. I was listening to it. Lots of good information, and quite a trading day we have out here. Trading week across the board, man.
yeah, especially I was glad I was able to close out a couple of trades for some big profits here. We're going to be talking about my webinar coming up and how I set up one of those trades.
Nice.
So we'll get into that, I guess, a little bit later.
Yeah,
but
I know you were sending out updates to those subscribers today, getting those profits claimed before the day might reverse. But, man, charts across the board. I mean, the index charts, I like to pull them up on the hour, but it's a straight rocket ship to the upside. Not too much of to digest today, at least.
Well, I was talking about this earlier in the week on my show, but there was a very bipolar-ish market where you had huge puts being bought in the equity part of the options market,
okay,
and monster calls being bought in the stocks around in the options around the VIX.
Interesting.
Which are the out of the money puts and calls that are both 24 and 36 days out. So you had this, I mean, something was going to give. We were going to have a big move one way or the other. I was thinking long just because of the way a lot of these stocks tested some previous lows, those February 5th and 9th lows yesterday, on kind of questionable news, both politically and geopolitically and financially. It just, a lot of the stuff just rang pretty hollow, which made me think that they were just kind of messing with everybody.
Sure.
But you get those big moves, and I love Jesse Livermore's book. I don't know if you've ever read it.
I have, for sure. Reminiscence of a stock operator, right? Yeah.
Right. There's a great passage in that, and it took me a while to really get it down early on. But he's talking about two guys, and they're going to duel. And the one guy says, I got no problem dueling. I can snap the stem of a wine glass at 20 paces. And he goes, that's all good and well, but how well are you at doing that when the wine glass is shooting back at you?
Sure.
And I have to figure that when people were looking at those huge losses going into tomorrow, the hardest thing in the world is to learn that when everybody is saying the end is nigh, that's when you need to be buying. And when everybody's euphoric, they can be euphoric a lot longer than they can be pessimistic.
Sure.
But
that just reminds me.
You got to be nervous when everybody's happy, and you got to be greedy at the lows when everybody's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And I think we got, at least on the short term, that's basically what happened yesterday.
You know, that just, it's interesting you say that, and I don't know where I get the quote from, but it just reminds me of the quote, and it's from some boxing story or some movie, and it's everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face or something. You know that? Have you ever heard that? It's about a fight. You know, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. I forget what it's from, but
I'm pretty sure that was Howard Cosell.
Maybe it was. Okay, perfect. It's a great quote, right?
Yeah, interviewing not Cassius Clay. What's his? Muhammad Ali.
Was it? Okay. Yes, Muhammad Ali, right? It's Muhammad Ali. Perfect. Even better, man. Even better.
I think he was telling Howard what he's going to do.
That's great.
Before the fight, and then said, "You did nothing like you told me," and that was the answer.
That's awesome, man.
If I remember, that was it. But
that's awesome.
Or I like the other one, which is I think some German colonel or general from the late 1800s or 1900s, and that's no plan survives first contact with the enemy.
Yeah, and it's, they're
kind of all in that vein.
They're all, right, and they all make perfect sense in terms of, you know, you have to be able to adjust, and that's in life, it's in the markets, you know, it's everything doesn't go as rosy pictures and so forth. It'd be too simple if it did. Because, like you said, I mean, pretty remarkable, man. Tom and I got off the program at 11 a.m. yesterday, literally at basically the market lows as they were teetering on 400 points down in the Dow. And I had a busy afternoon. I looked up from the computer, and I said, my goodness, man, we're even. And then today, of course, gangbusters as well. So it's just remarkable on the heels of that. I mean, we're up almost 800 Dow points in the span of how many trading hours are we talking about, right? I mean, 9 hours in trading? Pretty remarkable.
But, you know, when they're pushing the market around, that's not uncommon. Those windows of opportunity just don't last that long. And they generally don't hold down that long. And what we have is basically a market that's gone sideways now for a while.
Yeah, no,
right?
for sure.
And everybody's sure that market's going higher, the market's going lower. And in fact, that was, I think, the top of my newsletter this morning. I said, do you think X is going higher or lower? I said, you missed one big historical fact, and that is that for many years, it's gone sideways.
Okay.
So there's always that third option out there that a lot of people don't talk about, and that is that maybe you're just in a trading range, or even worse, you're flat. We've gone through weeks of those at a time in the last couple of years, where the market's just stuck in the doldrums and didn't move. But, you know, I think we have a lot of the good action over with, and I think we're probably going to lower volatility and a slight move higher.
Okay.
And we'll see what that is. I'm not thinking we go back to 28.50 anytime soon on the S&P.
Yeah.
Cash, but I think we could go back up to 27.50 maybe.
Okay.
Maybe before Memorial Day.
And that would even be, I was just going to say, that would even be above where we peaked out in kind of April, but still far below where we were ever at that high.
But not back up to the highs, and that would be uncharacteristic of a May. And one of our early guests on TFNN was Tim Ord.
Sure, I remember Tim, definitely.
And he taught me a lot about kind of some older trading theories. One of the ones that he talked a great deal about was the 3-day weekend, and how many times the market's actually set up for a major trend change, or at least a character change on those. And for the most part, that seems to hold true over all these years.
Gotta love it, man. We'll see. We'll see where this final hour takes us as remarkable markets, folks. Dow up 370 right now. S&P's up 37. NASDAQ up 130. Give us a call, 877-927-6648. Dave and I will be right back.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Until recently, it was almost impossible for the average investor to hedge against currency risk in Europe or Japan. For a bold trade on Europe or Japan that protects against moves in currency, trade HEGE or HEGJ, 2 times currency hedged leveraged ETFs from Direction Investments. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Tom takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien with our man David White. Dow up to 257, 357. S&P's up 36. NASDAQ up 127. So it's quite a week in technology, Dave. Of course, we had Tesla with their earnings, right? You had Apple with the earnings. So what do you think about Tesla? I know you love to talk about Tesla, and it's an amusing week. And man, I couldn't help but get caught in a little bit of a rabbit hole in articles in terms of that conference call and kind of the gall that Elon Musk had on there towards the analysts. But quite a week for them, rebounding today, up 4%. But we'll see where they hold. It's an intriguing deal in terms of they need cash, and they're burning through it, and he was not receptive to answering questions on that call at all.
Well, it is kind of a double-edged sword. I think he could have handled it a lot better.
Sure, yeah.
But you've got 2 guys that are basically heavily short against him, asking him, do you still beat your wife kind of questions.
Sure, no, I hear you. It's a setup for, yeah, right.
So you know that part of it. But, I think at that point, you know what's going to happen. You're probably a little bit better prepared to handle those.
Right, I agree.
And the other thing is that you get these people like Musk who can literally say anything, like we're going to Mars. There's about 100 things that he said that are happening that have, everybody cheers and screams and, oh, that's great. And of course, nothing ever happens.
Sure, right.
So no one ever really says anything. We're going to talk about him actually here in a few minutes.
Okay, cool.
But or at least Tesla adjunctly.
Sure.
But he's just one of these guys that never gets called on his BS. And when someone does, he doesn't know how to handle it. Yeah. Because everybody's given him. It's not like a guy that was in politics his whole life, right? And then, he's finally, from the time he was running for the PTA, he's kind of figured out how things work. But he's kind of been a golden boy all his life.
And to his credit,
no one's really ever said anything. Huh?
I was just going to say, to his credit, he gets that credit, though, because he has done some pretty revolutionary stuff, in terms of he was the driver of electric cars before car companies were even thinking about it. And I don't know why, because they created a vacuum where they could have kind of they allowed somebody like him to slide in and be a champion of that in some essence. But in terms of the raw data of their cash flow statements is what matters right now to investors.
The history is not kind to incumbent startups in the auto business.
Oh my goodness, right? I know.
It's been a one-way trip. I'm trying to remember. I saw a study that there wasn't one new car company in 60 years or something.
Well, you see the barriers to entry, right? In terms of the economies of scale, and that's what he's dealing with right now is the economies of scale in terms of they need to get that Model 3 up to an economy of scale to be able to compete and do anything.
It's the amount of investment you need to get started.
Right, the barriers to entry for sure.
He kind of thinks that he's Amazon, where no one's going to ask him anything for 10 years.
Yeah, and that's not the case, right?
No, it's not the case. I mean, I think there was a honeymoon period for 10 years with Amazon because no one expected them to even stay in business. Every one of their brethren went out of business. I think Amazon was $110, went to like $9.
I know, right?
On the
Pretty
.com
remarkable,
bust.
Yeah.
Right, and everybody, well, he was just part of that. He was kind of lumped into the whole thing.
Yes.
So as long as it didn't go bankrupt, everybody was willing to look the other way.
He was ahead of the pack.
Yeah, back.
Totally.
So he was kind of that way. Now maybe Musk, maybe it goes back. I've always looked on paper as Tesla being worth $40, but it doesn't matter. You go to a lot of these people that have never been had people tell them what's up. You've been rich, or they're a judge, or whatever.
He's a visionary, right? He's not a dollar cents guy. He's a visionary.
Yeah,
and
but it's not like it's not like a cop who every time he gets told something that he doesn't like throws the bracelets on you, right? This is like the cop that never has had anybody tell them anything bad.
Sure.
Oh, Mr. Officer, yes, sir.
No, right.
So it is a little different out there.
And, just compared to Amazon, you're right, too, because Amazon, at least, it was something where, I mean, Tesla's problem here is that they have a product that's very replicatable, as in they have competition coming right down the line that's going to be right in their henhouse in terms of electric cars that are beautiful. I mean, when they came out with their Tesla, they were one into their own, and that's not the case anymore. And so that kind of is a different deal too, where it's like, okay, well, you have to differentiate yourself, and you got to do it without burning through $1 billion a quarter pretty soon.
Yep. Why don't we start talking about tech stuff, and because we're going to get to Tesla here in a second.
Perfect.
But it's
a
just
big week in tech. Apple trading at an all-time high today across the board. Perfect. All right, let's go for it. Where are we starting off?
IPOs for the day, and what do I got it here? And the first one I wanted to talk about, let me get it back up here. I got 4 screens, and there's still not enough. CBLK, which is Carbon Black. It's IPO'd today. This is last price is $24. Started to come out at $15 to $16 last few days. Printed it. IPO'd at $19, trading at 24, got the high of 25.84 today. The hottest part of all of technology is security software.
Yes.
Cybersecurity software. And of course, these guys are coming out probably at the perfect moment. Carbon Black is a leading provider of the next generation endpoint security solutions. And you'd read that and go, okay, what's my first question? What is endpoint security? Right. And that's in network security. Endpoint security refers to the methodology of protecting corporate networks when accessed via remote devices, such as laptops and other wireless and mobile devices. So how do you let your people in and keep the bad people out? But you've got, it's not like a gate with just one people coming in at a time. You got to have a lot of people coming in and out of your network. Which
I'm sure is huge right now and only going to get bigger, right, in terms of remote access, people working from home, accessing servers. I mean, it's huge already, but that's something I could see only getting larger.
Right, and the Internet of Things.
Yeah, yes.
And a perfect example was the casino, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that got the database from their high rollers all stolen.
Oh, man.
And they went through a Nest thermostat that's on the side of an aquarium on the entry.
Wow.
They just went in there, hacked the thermostat, I think they walked in and actually had access to the thermostat.
Gotta love hackers, man. They'll get it done if there's anywhere there, right?
And got, that's probably a pretty valuable list if you wanted to sell it to other casinos.
Definitely.
And of course, if you're just looking for people with high net worth, one of the original big hacks in the market was going after the customer base information from Goldman Sachs. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't, but it would make sense, right?
Ago.
I mean, what a list, seriously, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're finding the people with deep, deep pockets that you can go after. So that's kind of it. But anyway, kind of interesting. There hasn't been a lot of really strong IPOs. Last week, we got some good ones. Today, Endpoint is the one. Now, don't go chasing this. Just like every one of them, they've got 180 days before the insiders can get out. So you want to, if you're trading, the last thing you want to do is be going long on that 180th day.
Insiders, for sure. And I've heard you, I mean, I know you and Tom talked about that, the security deal. I mean, we have people in our own building he's told you about. They're just exploding in terms of security. They got 300 employees now. There's a write-up about that's just the small company in our building, let alone the public companies. It's huge. Okay, folks, come on back. We got a half hour left in the trading week. Dow up 370, S&P's up 37. Dave and I'll be right back.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Are you an options trader that's looking for that extra edge when placing trades? David White will be hosting a webinar on May 16th, which is the Wednesday leading up to options expiration Friday in May, where he'll discuss in depth the methodology he uses for trading options near expiration, including swing trading setups and expiration day trading scenarios. Subscribers to each of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and the Technology Insider, gain access to this 60-minute webinar, which will be archived if you cannot attend live. Dave has had some great option trades recently for his subscribers. See for yourself the trading methodology he uses when trading options by signing up today for either of his newsletters, and we'll see you Wednesday, May 16th at 5 p.m. for option trading near expiration, analyzing swing trades and expiration day scenarios. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien with Dave Waite. We got the Dow up 370, S&P's up 38, and the NASDAQ up 131 points. All right, Dave, where are we going to next?
I just wanted to show this slide before we go on to the next one, which is everything that is around endpoint security. So hopefully everybody sees
Yeah,
this.
leave it there for a sec. So basically, we'll sum it up. It's everything, right? It really is.
No, it's not, but it is a lot of the things. I'm going to say it's 70% of what security software is. But it's everything. It's certainly everything that an individual that has their own PC needs to think
I was just going to say, from a retail standpoint almost, or most customers, when I look at that as, a consumer, as somebody that's not, a network administrator, right, that's something that pretty much covers everything I deal with as a retail customer.
Right, but they go into corporations, right?
Sure,
They're not trying to sell it to the retail person, but they sell it at a retail level to, I'm going to call it, what?
It makes sense. The end user.
Top 2,000 big, large corporations, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And here's where I'm going to get back
All right,
to
the essentials of life, beer and gas. Here we go.
Well, Budweiser has placed an order for up to 800, but at least 200 zero-emission big rigs. And, of course, this is what Tesla's been showing their electric rigs.
Okay.
These are going to be hydrogen-powered semi-trucks, though.
Interesting.
They're not going to be powered by electric. And
so is this that big rig that they put out kind of a few months ago? I saw like a video. They had a picture of it. Kind of they're all electric big rig, or is this
right? That is Tesla's.
Okay.
This is another company.
Oh, okay.
Called Nikola.
Oh, interesting.
Also, the first name of Tesla, right?
That's why I confused the two there.
Yeah.
I did, because I know that's where Tesla comes from. Yeah.
Right. But anyway, this company, a little confusing, but they are going to go with a hydrogen-powered semi-truck. Now, hydrogen has about 85% of the same power as a gasoline engine. And they're basically making these like diesels, so they'll be able to pull big rigs.
Okay.
But the thing is, if you got a big rig and it's sitting there and it needs to be charged up, it's not easy to haul the thing off. You got to get a special truck, everything else. And two, if you're going from, if you're taking a long trip, like maybe 300 or 400 miles during the day, the semi's never going to make it. I think Budweiser's already figured that out.
Okay.
You also have the fact that Tesla hasn't even started breaking ground on a building to build their semi-trucks.
Yeah, they have enough factory problems as is before they jump into a new one, right? Yeah.
Not only that, but where are you going to get the $5 billion?
Yes, yes.
We know that they need a couple of $1 billion already.
Yes.
And for every dollar under $365, Tesla has to come up with money for, I think it's a $2 billion bond next year. So they have to keep the price of their stock up, or they'll be even bigger in the hole.
They're going to be.
When it comes around next year.
They're going to be a case study, man, in terms of their debt and how they manage that, because it is quite a juggling act. They're going to have to come up with if they don't reach almost perfection in how they push out that Model 3.
That's right. It's kind of like sitting behind a car that's sitting on the train tracks, and you see the train coming, and there's nothing you can do.
I went over. I mean, that bond they put out, and I think it was the 2025 bond, maybe. I mean, the one they put out at like 5.3%. Just remarkable in terms of being able to spin that for a bond at 5.3%. I think that's the one trading at 89 cents now.
Yeah.
So it'll be they'll be talking about that.
This may be cutting off what they are doing, and I think it makes a lot more sense for for people that are interested in zero emission kind of deals. Now, of course, around here in Tampa and Clearwater, we have natural gas powered buses.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of it just kind of on the edges of making it a little bit better. But
sure.
In this case, hydrogen powered semi trucks, the only thing that comes out of the tailpipe, water.
Pretty cool. It is.
That's
I mean, once they get, and like you're saying, it's things are still coming together with the whole technology, but it's intriguing to think about the future when you really do have cars running and they're just pumping out water out of their tailpipes instead of black smog.
Yep. Back onto the security time front. I don't think anybody really talked about it. Krebs on Security is one of the best websites. This guy has broken all the. He's the Edward R. Murrow of security.
Well, he's got plenty of topics to cover lately.
Right. Well, with just a day after Facebook got tied to the whipping post in Congress.
Yep.
It came out that this guy came out. He just started searching and found 120 different groups, 300,000 members who were basically just selling everything.
All sorts of shady stuff going on. So
Right.
there'd be
Wire
private
fraud,
groups, and then they'd
takeovers.
bring people in, and then that's how they'd facilitate, whether it's conversations, setting up buys, purchases, transactions of any sort, right?
Right, but this apparently they'd been there for 2 years, and no one even noticed that you could basically, it was the equivalent of the back of Soldier of Fortune magazine where you hire hitmen, and literally on their website. So it was kind of interesting that this went by, and I never really saw a lot of people talking about it. And, it's one of these things where the press likes to move on after they've been on a subject for a few days.
Sure.
And this went on. But it was kind of amazing that this actually continues to go on, and everybody just kind of looks the other way. But I thought
they have no incentive to be deleting accounts, right? When every single quarter they have to provide how many accounts they have, how many people are logging on. So there's that disincentive, and we saw it in terms of the security. I mean, they knew what they're doing there. I, for the first time, thought about deleting my Facebook account. I haven't. But there's they are getting no benefits of the doubt, as in I'm well aware now that you're aware that you can't trust them for any reason, because it's pretty obvious in terms of that data and how they knew what was going on. But that's my take.
I think there's a good pattern. If a lot of people, I think, shorted them a little soon, but I have a feeling there's a nice pattern setting up in the next couple of weeks where if you did want to short Facebook, it may be setting up that way.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of jumping on the news wagon.
Yeah.
But when they come back up on light volume and they push them back up, that's normally where everybody, if the shorts don't short it again, a lot of times that's where the big moves lower come. And so I'm going to be watching this. It's probably going to be another week, probably at least 2 weeks before that setup happens. But I think if you are in Facebook, I think you're going to get a good opportunity to sell it. And not if you went through all that pain, probably just be thinking about where you could sell it.
From a fundamental perspective, they crushed it on earnings, right? And what would almost happen, and I have some friends in advertising. I was just at a wedding a couple weekends ago, and what was interesting is they have real data. I mean, they work with, and one of my good friends was telling me is advertisers love it because you can change things so quickly, you can target so quickly, you can have one ad budget on one day, and the very next day you can change things. So that will take some time to pull back, and maybe that's something where just fundamentally, advertisers aren't going to flock away from that. But guess what? If you start seeing this negative deal, and maybe they won't pull away from it, but maybe they won't see the growth that you want out of a company that's priced as high as it is.
Well, Amazon has done something in the last day. We're going to talk about it when we come back.
Okay, that's a perfect teaser.
They have fired the first salvo that I've seen that could change the earnings of these companies in the near future.
For the advertising? Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah, Amazon had some numbers on advertising in their last earnings, right? And
yeah, but it's with Google.
Okay.
It's their partnership.
Perfect. We'll hang it right there, but we'll be back in 3 minutes. So Dave and I, come on back.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Are you an options trader that's looking for that extra edge when placing trades? David White will be hosting a webinar on May 16th, which is the Wednesday leading up to Options Expiration Friday in May, where he'll discuss in depth the methodology he uses for trading options near expiration, including swing trading setups and expiration day trading scenarios. Subscribers to each of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and the Technology Insider, gain access to this 60-minute webinar, which will be archived if you cannot attend live. Dave has had some great option trades recently for his subscribers. See for yourself the trading methodology he uses when trading options by signing up today for either of his newsletters, and we'll see you Wednesday, May 16th at 5 p.m. for option trading near expiration, analyzing swing trades and expiration day scenarios. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien with our man Dave White. Markets just kind of holding steady to where they are. It seems like this final hour, we're just going to sputter out. Markets seem to agree with being up 1.4% for the day on the Dow currently. So, Dave, we had that ad during the break, and I know you had some great trades recently, and you got the workshop coming up a week from this coming Wednesday on options. So before we jump back into what we were talking about, if you can talk for a quick second about what we're going to be talking about. I'm pulling this up over here. So option trading near expiration on May the 16th, and of course you wanted to set that up ahead of the Friday expiration, which comes on May 18th this month.
Right. We're going to talk about two. We're going to be talking about swing trading with options.
Okay.
Which is what, like I talked about on my show today, with our calls that we bought on NVIDIA when it had its big pullback, and we sold them out today for an ungodly amount of money.
I like that, ungodly. Perfect.
So anyway, the idea is that there's really two ways you're trading options, but both ways are to reduce risk, and you don't throw a huge amount of money at it, but at the same time you have truly limited losses. You know what they're going in to begin with. It's not like being short a stock that could literally go to infinity.
Yes.
You've got whatever it is. You put your $2 in, and if you know what you're doing, you're going to be successful about half the time, which doesn't sound like the road to richdom. It only sounds like you're flipping a coin, but the answer truly is that you want to be able to make 4 or 5 times what you're making each time to take up for the thing that you're only going to be right about half the time.
Yeah, that's where risk reward, I know you love that term, asymmetrical, right? Which is exactly,
right.
You know, risking small amounts for an amount that is not symmetrical, as in you're not risking $2 to make $2. That would be symmetrical. It's asymmetrical. You're risking $2 to maybe make $8 or $10.
Yeah, and you know it's not always that way.
Nope.
Sometimes,
definitely not. But like you say, when you bat 500 in those propositions, man.
Well, that is what we're talking about in the last few days of expiration. You're going to have almost no money involved, a quarter per 100 shares or something like that. So at those, they're astronomical, and if you catch them right, you can make a lot of money. Your batting average probably not 50-50 on those, probably a little less.
Yeah.
But you've got such limited risk that if you see everything setting up we've had some monsters over the last 2 or 3 years, but they're now starting to occur a lot more, and I think a lot of that is QE coming out of the marketplace. But let's say like the NVIDIA trade today. NVIDIA is a $200 and some odd stock. You know, not likely it's going to zero, but it could. So you've got a risk of 220. At that point, we had a risk of $211 going into it if you would have bought the equity. And the most you would have made on it is about 10 or 15%. But you could have lost a great deal more. So on expensive stocks, especially if you get them throwing the baby out with the bathwater like we did on that one, you can get them at the right price that not only make it a better deal than buying the equity, but it also limits your risk. And that's, so there's two sides to this webinar, and one of them is just picking out these options at the prices where they're literally cheaper than owning the equity. And the other side of it is when these options are a quarter or, you know, 30 cents or something the last couple of days before expiration, and you've got some real evidence that that stock and maybe even the market wants to move in those last couple of days.
Yeah, because very little premium at that time, right? Because you're paying for 2 days of trading worth of premium. So that's where you get in without having to pay all that premium that might come with an option with 2 weeks to 3 weeks, let alone months remaining. And yeah, you get to move in your right direction. And like you say, you know, maybe it expires worthless half the time, 6 out of 10 times. But if you're putting up 50 cents on an equity that might be just slightly out of the money or something like that with 2 days, you got to move in your direction. Those 4 out of, you know, or just right at the money or something like that. Those can be, yeah, I like those trades. I do. You know, that's how I like to trade myself. That's why I enjoy Nadex sometimes, not to throw it in there, but they have similar setups, you know, and even much shorter time frame. But for that same reason, you can sometimes put up very little for an outlier, you know, type, not even necessarily outlier, but an event where I know it's going to be successful less than 50% of the time, but I know that I'm confident it's going to be profitable in the same way.
Yeah, if you get a stock that you've got a quarter in, and it moves $2 into the money, then you've got, you know, you've got an 8-time return, and those don't happen every month. But we can talk about why and where you look to find out when those are available.
Well, it's nice when you get 800 points of Dow movement over a Thursday and a Friday, right? I mean, seriously, that's where, I mean, it is, because especially with
everybody thinks it's always this easy, and they think it always happens all the time.
Well, what's remarkable, I was just going to say the VIX is still, there's not a lot of premium sometimes still priced in for the type of moves I feel like we're able to get in the market. You know, we got a spike up to 18 yesterday on that VIX when the Dow was down 400. But we're back under 15, so pretty low premium for the type of moves sometimes you can get recently.
Hey, I know that you had some operations that had some robots in there.
Sure. What do we got here? Dr. Robot, huh?
Yeah. No, we've got very sophisticated surgery now happening with robots. This one was a new device that basically took out a very rare tumor on somebody's spinal cord.
Amazing.
That was right into the nerves, which is always generally a good, or when humans are doing it, easy to cut the wrong little bundle of nerves. Yes,
and that's actually what I have. And I've had nothing to do with cancer, thankfully, but it is just a growth, a rare tumor type deal, same deal, but they do have to do with the nerves. So this is especially intriguing to me because, yeah, it's nerves control everything in your body. Well, let it be pain, let it be, you know, movement, sensation, all that stuff. So anytime you want to have a good surgeon, for sure, or a good robot, it seems like, coming in the future.
Well, this was very interesting because they put this off for a long time for this gentleman because it was going to take about 20 hours to do over the span of 2 days.
I'm seeing what you're putting up there, man. Yeah, 3-part, 2-day complex procedure. I mean, that just
sounds... And this is where robots really don't get tired.
Amazing.
Which is much better than your doctor, who, you know, all he needs is a little bit too much coffee and his hands shaking.
Sure. Right.
And that's it. But you know, we've had a couple of robotics companies, especially for knee and hip replacements. They've been around for a while. It's always Intuitive Surgical's always probably the most nutty stock come earnings of all time. I didn't look what that was trading at today. I thought it was up. ISRG. But it's kind of the granddaddy of these companies. It's up $12 today, 2.5%. It's about kind of like the market. But if you want to look at these companies that are in this business, or look at ISRG's chart for the last 10 years, I think it'll give you an idea just how big robotics in this business will be. These guys are going to, I believe, are going to start their own company, but it's going to be a little different than Intuitive Surgical. It really is all about hip and knee replacement. Orthotics, I think, is the best way to think about it.
And I know they've come a long way already with those replacements in terms of my grandmother up in Boston just had a knee replacement herself. She's up in her 80s, but doing well, man. You know, it's like in hip surgeries, I know hip replacements are amazing, how quickly people can be back in action.
I used to film that stuff in the 80s when they were originally doing it with hammers and chisels.
Thank goodness we're around when a time when we have more than hammers and chisels, man, let alone medieval surgeries. My goodness, those people, poor people, struggling through. Thank goodness.
We'll be back
Technology. We'll be right back, folks.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien and Dave White. We're getting a little bit of a pullback in about the last 15, 20 minutes. You got the Dow up 306 now. You got S&P's up 30 points. NASDAQ up 112. Still pretty decent, I'd say. So, Dave, how are we going to finish up the hour? What are we looking at?
Well, we've got Al in Tampa. How you doing today, Al?
No, Al actually dropped. Sorry.
Oh, didn't tell me that.
That's all right.
Okay. He wanted to look at lumber liquidators. And I guess just in the closing minutes out here before I want to talk about how to wrap this up, came down on 6.2 million shares into a 7.15 million share day. That is the February 27th low. So you came in with just 1 million shares lighter. You're going to have to let that consolidate for a while and hope it just goes quiet with very light volume for a week or two.
Okay.
And then maybe at that point you want to look at it. But there's no good signal to buy it here. And kind of a signal that says if you were short, you might want to take your cash. So we'll look at that in it.
There we go, to our man Al in Tampa.
Oh, he's here?
No, I was saying for him. He'll get to check it out. Perfect.
Good enough. Now, we wanted to talk about, I don't know, what do you want to wrap up the day with? I was going to say that.
Well, where do we go next week? Let's put it there. Quite an end to the week in terms of 800 points in the Dow in the last 2 trading days. What are you looking for next week? Why not?
Quiet, because earnings are all over.
Yeah.
I mean, we get into Thursday, but I think that is if I'm not mistaken, Thursday's the last day. We've got Walmart, J.C. Penney in the morning.
Okay.
And then after the bell, we've got AMAT. But there's just,
nothing like we've seen.
Done.
That's it. Yeah. We've had a few good weeks of just constant barrage, whether it was the banks in the beginning, right? And then you just came into the Facebook in there. And then, of course, this week with Apple and even Tesla this week as well.
Yeah. So we got about 3 weeks where it's only going to be maybe numbers at 8:30. And that's about it. Not going to be a lot of news driving the market for the next 3-4 weeks.
Well, Dave, thanks for joining me, man. I encourage everybody, head to the front page of TFNN. Check out Dave's awesome course coming up a week from Wednesday. Folks, have a great one. Have a safe one. Quite a market we finished up. We look forward to seeing you right back here Monday morning at 9 a.m. Have a great weekend, everybody.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.